Boruto versus Team Kawaki. The eternal divide within the current stakes of the Hidden Leaf Village. Now, what started out as a far-off idea, a far-off or possibly even a one-off theory, was breathed life into it the moment we got Boruto to confirm himself his very own personal reasons as to not revealing the whole truth and nothing but the truth to everyone within the village. It will cause an eternal divide amongst the villagers, amongst the higher-ups, amongst those who hold power. And I know I've been saying this word a lot within the last few weeks, but political power within the village especially. It will ultimately lead to a civil war. Now, when Kawaki questioned Boruto, why didn't you rat me out at the interrogation? Why didn't you reveal that not only are you Naruto's truest son, but confirm that not only is Naruto alive, because I know you told him that, but that I was the one in possession of Naruto via the Daikoku 10 dimension. Boruto stated that only some of the villagers will believe him, and some of them will side with Kawaki, and that will ultimately thrust the village into an eternal civil war. Now, we understand how serious these accusations can be. The last time the Hidden Leaf Village specifically was on the verge of a civil war, an entire clan had to get massacred just to prevent that. Now, it's not just the civil war that's the issue itself. Especially within the times of war, it's probably a little bit different with the great ninja nations having this ninja treaty peace times going on. But if a village, especially a powerful village, one like being in Konoha, was to find themselves within a war with themselves, other outside nations would look at this as an opportunity aside, basically saying like, let both of the sides wear themselves out. Let's have a side find a winner. And once that is done, another nation will come in and invade the village and take over. This is the reason why Itachi decided to massacre the entire Uchiha clan, because regardless of who won, the Uchihas or the Hidden Leaf Village, they were going to be invaded by the likes of the Hidden Cloud, by the likes of the Hidden Stone, by the likes of the Hidden Mist, all in efforts to take control and possibly political power of the village as a result of them having their own infighting. Now, Boruto sees a civil war currently as completely pointless and useless. Not only is all of these situations is just unforeseen and completely unconventional, but Naruto is not dead. Most importantly, right? Just having his life swapped with Kawaki is very egregious in its own, but the majority of the issues arise from the absence of Naruto abstaining from his Hokage position and putting the Hidden Leaf Village in terms of power in a very fragile position. They've lost their two greatest fighters that they have been championing for years, being in both Naruto and Sasuke. So the complications are very much front and center. So Boruto has valid reasoning as to not reveal the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But now that we had Boruto confirm this is a future he's avoiding, we have more political divide between the likes of the Land of Fire and the Hidden Leaf Village itself. Lord Kobu has witnessed with his own eyes, not just Boruto being there with Shikamaru on top of the Hokage faces in the middle of an invasion, right? And in the middle of an interrogation asking, how are you working with Boruto? Why are you working with Boruto? And I know it's you, so just tell me, you know what I'm saying, what's the reason for you working with Boruto? But Boruto was there and he saved Kobu's life. So things become complicated, things become shaky. Boruto's whole reason was to avoid having the village be split in two. So there are going to be those who understand and side with Boruto and those who are siding with their memories. Bro, Naruto took you in, you betrayed him, killed him, left, came back and tried to act like it's all still going to be intact. No, you're an op, right? So a lot of people are not going to operate on the consensus or the belief that their memories are being tricked, but they're going to double down heavy on their emotional feelings. But this potential war, Team Boruto versus Team Kawaki, I think it's becoming more and more prevalent and possibly might even be, at the very least, a subplot, but a plot or a arc moving forward within the series and within the story. Now, how do I see this playing out? Now, just with the characters that we have who are fighting on Team Boruto right now, I don't even believe all of these characters would be on a Team Boruto down the line in the future, right? So as far as how far this war is willing to go, I believe it's going to be reluctance in both sides, but there's still going to be a willingness to fight and defend for whichever side believes they are right. Now, it's going to be similar to how it's like, well, we don't really want to fight, but I cannot stand for whatever your side is fighting for, and vice versa. Similar to how we see earlier on in the chapters, Ino, mind you, who grew up with Shikamaru, they were there together in diapers while their parents were training on their Ino Shikacho formation, and then they began training on their Ino Shikacho formation while their kids are in diaper playing together. So Ino and Shikamaru are like this, if like this was even considered like this. They are tighter than tight. Damn near people say Sasuke is not really Naruto's true best friend and Shikamaru. I call cap. Shikamaru's real best friend, runner-ups, you know what I'm saying, is definitely both Choji and Ino. And we see their relationship thrive, especially within Naruto Next Generations, especially within Two Blue Vortex. Now, Ino made a point and stance. Shikamaru, if you're asking me to do this, to continue speaking and conversing with Boruto the traitor and exchanging intel and information, as a Hokage, I'm gonna keep this transmission open. But if you're asking me as a friend who I've known deep down, loved for years, and I know is ride or die, I'm not gonna do it. So that already establishes a premise. These people, regardless of how much close you feel someone is to you, they will put the village above their family, they will put the village above their bonds, they will put the village above their loved ones if they feel it is necessary. So Ino is already shown us, I will listen to you, Hokage, if you're acting off of the orders as the village leader. But if you're acting as my friend who I know, you know what I'm saying, I have history with, and I know you aren't irrational, I still can't follow you, my guy. So everyone right now who is fighting for Team Boruto most likely won't be on Team Boruto when the time rises. Now, as for the Yamanaka family, I don't know how they will split that up, because Sai has just begun working with Shikamaru. We know initially Ino turned him down, and this guy, Inojin, is working with Kashikoji actively and willingly in order to prevent a future where Himawari dies. One thing we need to establish prior to moving any further is that regardless of who or however many, Team Boruto will have less supporters than Team Kawaki. That's just a fact of the matter, considering both of their positions. Now, I believe because of that fact, Kawaki will have a greater support system within the village, yet Boruto's support system will be more solidified, right? Basically more heavy hitters. So I believe Kawaki will have a majority of the village by his side, but Boruto will have people like the likes of Shikamaru, just for the obvious candidates, right? Himawari, Sarada, Sumire, Ada, probably Damon, you know what I'm saying? But it's a little iffy. So Ada and Damon are a little bit in the neutral, and plus we're talking post-arc. We know their lives are in the balance. This arc, personally, you would ask me, is Big Damon in 5, you know what I'm saying? Just giving Mamushi that one game just for good sportsmanship. But hey, that aside, right? The obvious characters and choices, Team Boruto, Shikamaru, Sarada, Sumire, Konohamaru now, Mitsuki, basically the Team 7, and the running acting Hokage, and possibly some people along the likes of, you know, someone like Delta, and possibly Ada and Damon, depending on whatever or wherever their choices go, right? So understanding beyond that, Kash and Koji, and then possibly anybody else who we may have not know or heard about as of yet. But everything other than that, right? You know what I'm saying? Everything else is Team Kawaki, so it might not even be a full-blown civil war. It's more like a coup d'etat in some people's eyes, possibly even a revolt or a rebellion in some people's eyes, considering the likes of Team Boruto and its limited members. But I do believe the likes of these characters will be some of the more solidified ones to side with Boruto, and to be the ones on Boruto's side if a first fist or a first jutsu is thrown in the middle of the village, where it's like, no, we're not arresting Boruto, and someone's like, yes, we're arresting Boruto, and I just see Kawaki like, fuck it, karma blast, boom, and everything gets blown up, and everybody starts fighting, and then we have brother versus brother, son versus son, daughter versus mother, all of these different things going down, and the typical tragedies that usually would occur within a civil war. I think this is becoming more and more closer to home, as opposed to being a far-fetched idea. So once we see how Lord Kobu actually, you know, guides his hands, I think it could be an infighting civil war like I just went over describing, or it can be a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, grounded and Konoha centric, where it's like the village as a whole rallies behind Shikamaru. They trust in Shikamaru. They probably not completely riding with Boruto, but they're like, hey, Shikamaru, you here? Kawaki has said he's got a temporary ceasefire, so fuck it, we Team Boruto. We not gonna let the Land of Fire come here and treat us all willy-nilly. At the end of the day, we're the reason the Land of Fire is the most powerful nation right now, and we have been promoted to being the capital just because of our power and influence. So would the village as a whole stand against the Land of Fire and Lord Kobu and the daimyo because of their belief that Naruto's killer should be tracked down and killed? Or would the village have its own infighting within the village itself, a Team Boruto versus a Team Kawaki? How do y'all believe these approaches will be explored by this guy Ikimoto, and do y'all even think he will pull the pin on having infighting within the story, whether it be the Hidden Leaf versus the Land of Fire, or within the Hidden Leaf, you got Team Boruto versus Team Kawaki. Let me know your thoughts, comments, and concerns, and how y'all think things will play out. It's your boy Black Chair, 3 long face, skinny body. Holla at your boy. I'ma holla at y'all. Black Chair out. Yes, sir. Ski.